last class. Does that make sense? So it's got all the code in there already in the VBA. My guess is you guys already have this code anyway, so it's not really helpful. Who got lost?
I think yeah.
Throw your teammate who's not here under the bus? Wow. Okay, so this is where we'll start. So if we go back to, let's see, let's just do a quick review. What did we do last time? We created this form prod, FRM prod. Here is our user form. I noticed my caption is not correct. Here. Let me fix my caption. Edit product information for the form. Oh, my cancel. Did I forget to cancel on there? Yeah, so we added some buttons. Yeah, let me just add that back on. I don't know where it is. That's right. You guys remember that fun we had with that? Those were good times. Good times. We moved the save button around. We made that dependent upon the date. We said if it was only April 4th and the user goes to click on the save button, it would move and shrink. That was terrible. We were all geeking out. I thought that was pretty funny. We added a label up here. We gave it some backdrop. This is going to be the product ID field. So this is going to pull from column 1 from our spreadsheet. We added the name text box here. This is one that users can edit, right? So after the name is in here, they can change the name. We added the category drop-down list, and that's coming from column B. And we added the ability to save and edit the category. We added the ability to save and edit the name. And then we added this department with option buttons. And that's from column C, but we can change which department this particular product is associated with. And we had a cancel and a save. Let's see, cancel. What was our code for that? I think that was just me dot, was it hide? Is that what you guys had? Or is it unload? Wait, it wasn't dot. It was just, wait, was it dot? Yeah, I'm just finishing what we didn't do that. Unload. Unload me. Like that? There we go. Okay, I'm just catching up to where we did last class. So we have this command cancel. When that is clicked, remember how we had the names here, and then we have events underscore click as the name of the sub. It will perform this code, right? Okay, great. So we have this form. Wait a minute. Do I have 2 Excels open? Let me make this a little bit less confusing for myself. There we go. So I have one form open. When we run this form, what happens? I'll click on, where's Brandon's favorite? Do we still have that one here? I don't think we did. I think it was this one, wasn't it? Injection molded Brandon's favorite. So if I run this form, let's see what happens. There it is. We have our ID 319. We have the name. We have our category. Here's our category list. We have our departments, and I can cancel or save. So let's do Brandon's favorito. Favorito, por favor. Brandon speaks good Spanish with his Google Translate. And we can come in here and change the category and the department. And when we click on save and go back to the spreadsheet, we've made some adjustments. There's Brandon's favorito, apparel, filet. Filet? What that is? Okay, so that's where we're going. Good so far? Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, let's move this one step further. Let's start with another type of control. Let's add a couple more controls to the sheet here. Let's do for our first one. Let's scroll back on. A list box. So what this is going to do, we have a little promotion over here. So we're going to try to put these promotions into a list box. So we'll go to the form, click on the form. We have a little toolbox controls that comes up. This is the one that you can see if you click on this icon. Whatever that icon is. Here's our control box. Here is a list box right next to the combo box. So if I grab this list box, I can click and drag it, or I can click on it and then I can draw the arrow in here. We're just putting this list box onto the form. I'll also grab a label, drag that over here. So we have a label on top of a list box. Let's change the list box name. This will be LST. We'll call it LST promo as the name. Thanks, Justin. And then for the label, we have our three-letter prefix. We can change that to LBL promotions. Promotions. And we also want to change the caption here for this one. Let's change this caption to promotions. We changed the name, the code name, right? This name right here, the properties for this object is its code name, and I did LST for list box, LST promo. And we wouldn't see that here on the form because that's the code name behind the scenes, but that's what it is. Let's change this back style to transparent. Let's do a little bit of text aligning here. We'll center this in our label here to make it just a little bit, maybe a little bit more appealing. Maybe closer down here, something like that. Okay. Okay, so we have our promotions box. Next, we want to pull the data into the promotions list from the spreadsheet. So what we need to do is write some code that says we have this promotions information here, and we need to pull it into the form. If we go to the lists sheet, here is the definitions of the promotions. So we have one promotion is free shipping, promotion 2 is free warranty, promotion 3 is buy one, get one free, promotion 4 is discount. And notice the numbers here in this column. Some have more than one promotion, others just have one number. But that's where those numbers refer to is the type of promotion. So let's go grab these promotions and we'll put them into our code. You okay? And where are we going to put it in? If you remember, we have a couple of different subs here. This sub is the show data sub. This is the sub where we're getting from the spreadsheet and we're putting it into the form. And I think that's where we're going to put it. So let's add at the bottom where we're at here. We can come down here and add putting in promotions from the spreadsheet. In fact, let's do that under this loop up here, right there. So I'll just add a little comment to myself. What we're doing is pull data into promotions list box from spreadsheet. And what we need to do is we'll just create a little bit of a loop here. We have 4 promotions right now. Could there be more promotions in the future? Yes. So if we hard code this loop to 4, we're going to have to come back and change this later on. So instead of doing that, let's do a do loop, kind of like what we did up here when we added the combo categories, right? We had all these categories. We'll do the same thing, but just for promotions. So let's go ahead and do reset the X is equal to 2. We'll do a do loop, lists dot cells X comma 2. This is column 2, value equals blank. We'll loop, We'll do our do events. And we will add in, just like we did here, we're adding items to this form object. We're going to call the form object. It's going to be LST promo, which we just created. Dot, let's see, is it LST promo or LST promotions? Promo, thank you. Dot add item. Notice when you hit the dot there, the period, you get all of these methods and properties. We're going to do an add item. We're going to add an item to this list. What are we going to add? We're going to refer to the lists spreadsheet. Lists is both the tab name and the code name of the spreadsheet. We'll do cells. What do we want here? Which row do we want? 2. And we're going to use X for our rows. So this will be X is 2 the first time. Which column do we want? 2, bingo. Column 2, which is column B, right? And we're gonna call the value. Whatever the value of that cell is in this spreadsheet, we're gonna add it to the form, that form object. Last thing we need to do is we need to increment our X. X is equal to X plus 1. Okay, should we try it? See what happens? Look at that. There they are. Free shipping, warranty, buy one, get one free, discount. So now what we've done is we've pulled these from the spreadsheet into the form and the promotions. I think the promotions box is a little bit big. I'll shrink it down a little bit. What does that look like now? Maybe a little bit wider just to fit in some of the text there. Again, there we go. Okay, so we have promotions, we have our text, we have our box. By the way, there's a couple different things we can change here. If we're clicking on this promotions box, the promo list box, there's an option down here called multi-select. So look for the multi-select property in the properties box of this list combo box. And there's 3 options here. You can do a single, a multi, or extended. And so you get to choose if you want to allow the user to select one in the box or more than one. You can choose. The multi and the extended are actually kind of cool. So if I just showed you what the multi is and ran that, we can select multiple ones, right?
This by shift or just
Yeah, we can do shift 2. Shift is this. If I click on the first one without shift, click on the last one with shift, it doesn't work. But I think that's the multi. So if I come back to the multi, change this, select on this element, and then change the multi-select to extended, then I run it, then the shifts works. And I think control works as well, but yeah, so now I can click on free shipping, for example, press down on shift and select discount, and it will select them all. And that's probably what we want, right? We probably want not the multi-select being single is what we want. So as long as it's not single, remember I have to select this, then I have the multi-select. As long as it's not single, we're okay here. So I'll select on extended. Okay, let's add one more thing here just for a quick debug tool. Let's add a debug button. And this is not something that we would use after we're done with it. This is something that we would create to help us build this form. So I'll add a command button and I'll rename it to CMD debug. I will change the caption to debug. And then I'm going to double click it. And all I'm going to add is the word stop. What I want to do is I just want to stop running the program. So remember how last time if we double clicked on the button, it will take us to the code. And I just added the word stop. And what I want to do is I want to run the form. And I want to click on debug. And now I'm stopped. And I want to look at this for a second. I want to look at what our list promo object contains. And this is a list, what do you call it? Yeah, a list object. This is like an array. So if I were to ask for element number 0, it would give me free shipping. Sorry, my microphone's been covered up for the past 20 minutes. I was cold in my office today, so I put on my coat. Still warming up. I was just covering the microphone. Okay, now you can probably hear me better if you're listening to this or watching this. So it's an array of values, right? So we could say, what is value 1? We could say, what is value 2? What is value 3? What is value 4? That was a trick question. There is no value 4. Why is that? Maddox, sometimes you make my day. You don't sound very excited about that. If you guys weren't there earlier this morning, Maddox was amazing this morning in class, and he downplayed it. Are you just humble, Maddox? Maybe you're just lucky. I think it's more than luck, but you're right. 4, there's nothing in 4 because it starts with 0, right? So when we use the array numbering, the number of the array starts with 0. This is going to be helpful because we need to look at what the array is to figure out what the promotions are for each product. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is, let's do another loop to help us know which promotions are selected. Does that make sense? So far, all we've done, if we come back up here, we've pulled the list of promotions from the list sheet into the code, into the form. Now we need to go through each product as we're loading this data. We need to figure out which promotions are associated with each product. So let's do another loop. In this case, I am going to do something that you may not like, or you may think is dishonorable, not dishonorable. I am going to create a variant. I know that's shocking to some of you. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I could do a string. Should we do a string? Oh, okay. Okay, we'll stick with the variant. And if you remember from chapters ago, I mean, has it been a month yet? Maybe 2 months? We're going to use the split function, and this is, I just want to show you what this looks like in the immediate window. Let's say we have a string that has various promotions, right? 1, 2, and 4. And I'm imagining here, whoa, what's that? Light rain. If we wanted to split this apart, we would say split these up using the comma, and then just give me the element number 1 or element number 0. What would be the return if I hit enter here? What would it return? 1. Interesting. Is it referring to the actual promotion? No, we're just referring to this 1, 2, and 4. So we're just splitting this 1, 2, and 4 by the comma, We're taking that comma and we're going to split. We're going to have 3 elements. So if I ask for element number 1, which element is it? 2. Very good. Why 2? Because of the 0. That's it. That's it. You guys got this. If I do 0, that's the 1. If I do 2, where's my 2? That's the 4. Okay, so we're splitting this up, please. Sure, sure.
Zero, one.
I think that's a good question.
Just when you're, is it one through infinity when you're referring to like rows and columns in yourself?
Correct.
Okay, but if it's a text,
If it's an array. If it's an array, right? An array is a list of variables. So if it's an array, it'll start with 0. Yeah. But you could start with 1 if you did what for your array? Yeah, that's true. There's another option. Remember how there's an option explicit up here? There's an option called option base 1. And if we did that, then all of the arrays would be starting at 1. Yeah. Okay, good. Good question. So we've got this promo array. What we're going to do is we're going to put that data into an array by splitting this up. So let's see. I need to get better at my comments. Let me put my comment in. Show currently selected promotions. That's what we're doing right now. We're trying to pull from the spreadsheet. Again, we've already pulled these names of promotions. We're trying to pull from the product spreadsheet for each product. What is the actual promotions for each product? So we're gonna split this up using a split function. Let's do promo array is equal to split. And what are we going to split? We're going to split, let's see. Oh, I think I have to stop so I can go back to it. There we go. We're going to split column H. So column H has our promotions. And for example, 1, 4, we're going to split that up. So we know which promotions, if there's more than 1, are for this product. We have 1, 4 here. We have 1, 2 here. And there's some others, 2, 4 down the road. So here's how we're going to do that. We are going to go back to, whoops, let's see, where's my code? I lost it. Back to my code. And promo array. So we have an array variable. We're going to split. What are we going to split? Data.cells. What's data refer to? I mean, that's a good guess. You get partial credit. Nice. That's looking good. What does this data refer to? Yeah. The sheet. Wow. Good job. That's actually the code name of the product's sheet. Very good. So we're saying, okay, we want the data sheet. What cells do we want? We know we have, before we talked about defining a row variable. So we're going to use that row variable as our row. Which column are we going to use? Column H. 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 That was pretty good, actually. And whatever the value of that cell is. So now we have a row and a column. And this is what we're going to split. We're going to split it on what character, though? So if you look at the split function here, it's asking for what's the string you want me to split. Then it's asking for what is the delimiter. And this is going to be a quote, comma, quote. And we're saying we want to split that on the comma. Interesting. Once it's split, let's do another loop. We'll do for x equal to 0 to upper bound, promo array. We'll get our next in, and we'll say, just go ahead and debug print it for me. Go ahead and put it up in the window so that I can see what's going on. before we make any changes to any spreadsheets or anything, just go ahead and split that information, split that value, put it into this array, go through the entire array now and print it out. So let's try that. Let me try it on a row that actually has some promotions so we can see something. So I'll come up to row 2. We should see 1 and 4 when we run the code. And there it is, 0, 1, 1, 4. So 0 is the X, because I'm printing the X. That's the X position of the array. That's the X element of the array. And that's 1. And then the next position, we have 4. Okay, so what we've done is we have correctly identified that this product, product number 2, has promotion 1 and 4. Let's try it for this product. Let's see what that works like. We've run it. Let me go back to here. This one says, let me try it again. That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. The first position is 1 because 0 is the 0th element of the array. It's 1. The second element in the array, the value of that is 2. And that's what we have here. Okay, so far pretty good. What we've done is we built an array to house this information. So what do we do with this? What we're trying to do is we're trying to load the data into the form, right? That's what we're trying to do. So now that we know which promotions are actually included, now we can load those into the form. So we do that with one line here. Instead of printing them to the debug.print window, let's put them into the form. So during this for loop, we're going to do lst promo dot selected, and we're telling it what to select inside of this promo list box, right? So selected is the command that we use to select the item inside of this box. And we're going to say promo array element X minus 1. It turns red on yours. Equals true. So in order to select an element inside of the list box, you've got to tell it to be true. So it's saying this item in the box, make that true, that's going to select it. So if we run this, again, if we go back to the spreadsheet, I want to select a row that has this promo 1 and 2. So I'll select row 24. And I will run the form, and we should see both of those first 2 promotions selected. Okay, let's do a neighbor check. Neighbor, this is where I'm at. You got to open up, Parker. You just gotta open up.
Computer and it was taking. It's a Windows, so it's taking forever.
Oh,
So I missed like the first 10 minutes of
how's the
the
computer working, by the way?
the Windows, so not good.
Ouch. You might spend the rest of your professional career on window. You never know.
I know.
So what we did is we just added those two elements to the
So we added
form and a debug button. So you can just add a list box, which is this one in the toolbox.
this one.
There you go.
I didn't touch this. Which is probably.
Justin, you should always wear your currently.
Oh, is it crazy?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's my coding haircut.
It's this one right next to that. There it is, right there. Yep. And then we renamed that one LST promo.
Like that?
I think you should, if you do lowercase, I think it'll agree with your code. Sorry, lowercase L, capital P. No, that's my bad.
It's there, but it's not there.
And then that's it. And then we added a label. So we're just adding a label called promotions right above that, which is the big A. Yeah. And that one is promotions. Change the caption to promotions. The name is LBL promotions, but because we're not going to actually change anything with that one's less. Yeah, exactly. But the captions, of course, are more important. Yeah. Yeah.
We did a candle line.
That's right.
And what was?
That one is CMD cancel. And then also mark the false. Let's go.
On
Cancel. On the cancel option, there's a true. Do that when it's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the caption, change the caption to cancel. Great.
And then, did we do any coding for the cancel button?
Yeah, we did. Good points. If I double click the cancel button, we did unload me. Yeah, you can take that one out. You can take that label one out.
That's what
Unload me. Okay, we good? How close are we? Ben's good. Okay, good. Diego? Awesome. Maddox? Nice. Will? All right.
you have pen?
Yep, plural. Click OK. Oh, it doesn't tell you where. That's not very helpful. Lists, cell, loop, add item, do until, dim, promo array, add variant, promo array equals split, data cells, row H value, comma, 4x to 0, U bound promo array, list promo selected, promo array X minus 1, true. I'm not seeing it. Runtime error, what would that be?
Oh, that was.
Mismatch. It's saying that there's a mismatch between LST promo, add item.
Add them.
No, it's just add item. List of cells, X2 value.
Oh, I don't have equals nothing.
Nice, good catch.
is.
Got it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Next level. Do you guys get it over there? Let's look at it real fast. Sorry. See if you can figure out how to save it back to the spreadsheet. So what we've done is we've created this list box. We can fill it correctly. How do we put that back to the spreadsheet? How are you? Okay, let me check that just a second.
When I run it, just saying.
Or without next. Click on OK, and then scroll up a little bit. Yeah, so there's a 4x, but you need a next at the end of that 4. Try that. Hey, that worked. Alan? Overflow.
Is that because is there an error with one of my groups or
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
maybe I don't have a human
Do events, maybe. Do events wouldn't prevent that.
would it?
It may not.
Okay.
If it's, let's check your do loops. For x0, do until list cells x value equals blank, x plus x1, category items, that looks good. You have any more? Do until lists.
And we're doing list plural or list singular?
Plural. Is there a space in between there?
Is that not correct?
Oh yeah, no, it's supposed to be empty string. So if it's empty for both of those, try that now. That's probably the error because it's been looking for a cell with one space.
Why?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, go back to that code. Look at that code again. That was it. So you basically told it, do until you find a cell that has a space in it, just one space. So it went through
So what is
the whole 6th column. It went through all 1.4 million rows looking for one cell that has a space. And there was no cell that has space. Does that make sense? Why? Because there's no cell in that whole column that has just a space in it.
Yeah.
But if you take the space out, it's saying if it's an empty cell. If it's empty cells, stop. Who's that? Is that your mom?
no that's
Jose.
thanks.
Got it. There you go. Okay, great. Should we keep going? Let's figure out how do we put this back into the form. So right now, if we run this form, feeder mallards, I'm on row 20, I'm on this product ID. If I come in here and change these promotions, what's going to happen? And click on save. Let's check. So I'm on waterfowl, row 24, selected all the promotions, click on save. What happens? Nothing happens because it was 2 before, right? It was 2 before. So again, if I run it, it says, okay, we're starting with 1 and 2. If I select all these, it's not saving anything, right? We're back to the problem, which is we're putting everything into the form from the spreadsheet, which is great. But now for this list box, we need to figure out how do we take what's selected, put it back into the spreadsheet. That's where we're going. Make sense? Okay, so how do we do that? Let's do it. Let me go to the code. And where in the code should we put this? Under what sub are we saving data back to the spreadsheet? Is it the show data? No. Yeah, very good. CMD save click. When we click on save button, this is where we're taking the data from the form, whatever that text name is, we're putting it into the spreadsheet. Whatever the category is, we're putting it back into the spreadsheet. Whatever the department is, we're putting it back into the spreadsheet. So let's add a place to save the promotions. So I'll come down here, save promotions. I'll do a little comment there to remind me what this section is. And let's do another loop. So we'll do dim as x as integer. And let's do a for x is equal to 0 to list promo dot list count. So one of the functions here for the list box is called list count. It's going to tell us how many there are. But we have to adjust this because if there's 4 in the list, what we really want to do is we want to adjust for the array number because we're going to use this x as part of the array. So we need to adjust the list count from -1. And then I'm going to add my next. Because if I don't add my next now, I'll probably forget it. I mean, it happens. Happens to everybody. So however long that list count is, we're going to do a loop. What we're going to check for is if the list promo dot selected x is true. Remember how this is a Boolean, right? This phrase right here is a Boolean, including the parentheses. If the item in the list box in the promotions is selected, then we want it to do something. What do we want it to do? We want to put that into the spreadsheet. So we're going to do data cells. What's our row? Which row are we going to put our data back into? Very good. Row. Is that what you were trying to say? Okay, yeah, you were there. You were there. Yeah, just different language. It's fine. And you were there. Good question. You could do the letter or the number. Yeah. So your question is, why do we do the H here instead of the number column? Yeah, you could do either one. Yeah, yeah. Yep, you could put 8. Yep, same thing. So you were right. So we have our row. What's our column here? H, that's it. Or 8, either way. Dot value. Let's see. Am I thinking about this the right way? I think I might have skipped some lines here. What we're doing is we're going to go through this promo and we're going to say if it's selected. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Take this out. Sorry, scratch that. My bad. What we're going to do first is, let me end my if so I don't forget that. We're going to create a string to collect all of the selected promotions. Does that make sense? So before we put anything to the spreadsheet, let's go through each item. That's what this for loop is. And if it's selected, we're going to put it into a promo. So that means we're going to create another variable here. I'll go back up here and I'll do dim. Let's do selected promos. And I'll do this as a string. And that's where we're going to store the ones that are actually selected. So selected promos is equal to selected promos. And I'm going to concatenate it with a comma and with a number. That makes sense. So we're going through the list box. And this is, remember, where are we at? We are in the save, click save portion of our code. So somebody, let's assume, has made changes to the promotions. They're clicking save. It's running this code. It's going to go through that promotions box and it's going to say for each one that's selected, I want you to add it to this string. That's what we're doing here. Add the ones that are selected to this overall string. And we want to add a comma to the string, and we want to add the number. Remember, x right now, we're doing 0 based in this for loop, so we want to add a 1 to the x so that when it comes back out here in the spreadsheet, which we haven't quite finished adding yet, we can see the real number. We don't want a zero promotion, right? We don't want to say 0, comma 1, comma 2, because 0 isn't a promotion, right? We want to say 1, comma 2, comma 4, or 3, or whatever it is. So the +1 over here is we're adjusting for the array list into the end user visible list of promotions. Okay, so what we've done is we've gone through this whole list. We've created a string of whichever the selected promotions are. And now we can add it to the spreadsheet. What does that look like? Well, we started it before, so it's data dot cells, row is row, column is H, dot value is equal to, and we're gonna do our selected promos. How about that? Reasonable? So if we run this guy, now I'm on this one that has 1 and 2. So here's my 1 and 2 promotions. And if I change this to give them all promotions for this feeder mallards one, and I click on save, it's going to go through all of these lists. And for every selected item in this list, it's going to put that number back in this promotions box. So we should see 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. Ready, set, go. There it is. Now, wait a second. We have an interesting thing at the beginning here. What is that? We have the comma. That's right. So the way we wrote this in our code is we're adding the comma and then we're adding the number, right? So let's do one more change here. Let's do an if statement. If the length of the selected promotions is equal to 0, so if there's no promotions, then what do we want? We want the data.cells row column H dot value to be blank. Else, what's the else? The else is if the length is greater than 0 or not equal to 0, then let's do this. Let's do data.cells row comma H dot value is equal to, and let's get a little bit crazy here. Let's do the mid. Mid is extracting text from inside of the string. Which string? It's going to be selected promo string, and we're going to start on character number 2. How about that? That's going to allow us to skip that first comma, right? Data.cells row column H dot value. So this is where we want that information to end up. We're going from right to left here. And what are we going to take? We're going to take that selected promos, which we built up here, start with character 2, and if we don't define a length string, it just takes everything else. So in the mid, if you remember we did the mid, you start with the string. The second element is which character do you start? The third element is how far do you go? But if I just put selected promos, comma 2, close parentheses, that's going to take everything else, which is what we want. We want the rest of the string. So if I run this guy, oh, by the way, I probably want to comment this out. Although even if I didn't comment this out, it would get overwritten by this, right? Which would be kind of interesting. But I'll go ahead and comment that out or just erase it because we are filling it down here. If I run this, I get an error.
We did it the first time, before.
Oh. Yeah, what we have to do actually is we have to manually we have to remove the comma in our original. If we go back to the original data for this row, if we do 1, comma 2 and run it, then it works. So that was just because we changed that. So if you have a comma in your promotions column that starts with a comma, You just need to take that out. Otherwise you get an error. So now I've run this, and if I click on another discount or two, so I've gone from 1 and 2, I'm adding the 4, I click on save, and it gives me 1, 2, and 4. Not bad, right? Right. We're assuming we want the comma, mostly because that's kind of the data is already there that has commas. Good question. It's a great question. Why don't you try it? So you're saying if we had 2 plus space 4 here, the problem with that is we have to change our split, right? Because right now our split is based off the comma. If you take this out, well, if we take this out and we put a space in, the next time we run that field, it's not going to split because the split is based off the comma. So you kind of have to have the comma. If you did the split off the space, that might work. If you did everything on a space instead of a comma, I think that would work. That should work. Yeah. I mean, you could do a dash for that matter, right? You could do a slash, forward slash, backward slash, whatever that character is. But it does have to be consistent from the split all the way through to how you put it together in the string. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Partly, mostly. Uh, are you going to grade me poorly on my teaching skills? Oh, okay. You want to do some VBA with us? We're doing VBA. Oh, this guy.
We
Oh,
have a meeting.
okay, great.
Oh.
No, join us. No, go right ahead. Please. You can sit by Justin. He likes finance majors.
That
Okay, great. Let's do a neighbor check. Neighbor, here's where I'm at. Tell your neighbor where you're at. Where are you at, neighbor? In this long lost world. Where are you at?
It's not,
What?
not,
It's not saving it? Okay, let's see it. Hey, now we're talking. Finally, we can find a use for this.
Oh, can't even put it on right.
I know, right? This is terrible. Okay, let's see what do we got. Okay, is this in your save click? This is your save click one, right?
So I actually, oh, was that supposed to be in a different? Okay.
Yeah, is that the
that's-
show data
that's
one?
something I need to figure out because I
Yeah.
ended up having to change the variable, so we run.
Okay. So you have your show data up here. Show data is the sub that's pulling data from the spreadsheet into the form. Is that-
I need to move that down into my,
That's it. I bet you're right.
that's it.
That's it. That's the one. So if you take this, is this the one? Yeah, selected promos. Yeah, because we're creating this, we're putting it back into the spreadsheet. So yeah, you need to take all this right there, put it down into, yeah, this one down there. Try that. See if that works. How's it coming?
Everything looks great.
Yeah.
Everything is placed in, and I know that MacBooks I can run the code to make sure that it goes through, but it says variable not defined.
Yeah, that's the form, LST promo. That's talking about the form. But you don't, oh, double click on your form there. FRM prod.
That's where I'm at.
Oh, do you have the actual form? I don't think you have the form in Mac, do you? Yeah, so that's the problem. So it doesn't recognize the name because it's not. But that code should work if you build the form in Windows and then name that object LST promo. Does that make sense?
That case, but
Oh, okay, yeah. Do you have Windows? Not yet?
no, I had the VDI, I tried that. It doesn't work for me to connect Atlas at all.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Can you do parallels on this or VirtualBox?
actually, so I might steal his computer.
You're gonna steal it? Well, he's
Yeah,
right here. I
I
don't
know,
think you're
right?
supposed to tell him
His
if you're
is
gonna
like
steal it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That
steal
seems a little bit awkward. Okay, that sounds great. See if you can get Atlas installed on that. Okay.
If it happens that I'm not done by then.
Yeah, I'll just, if you need some more time, let me know. Totally cool with that. I'm probably too easy on that. But yeah,
Which is very much appreciated up to this moment in my mortality.
great. That sounds good. Good. Sure. Question?
So when I try to run it, and then, oh, is it actually gonna work now because you're watching?
No, it doesn't. No.
And then when I try to do save, it does.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I went back and added this real briefly. After dim x is integer, after that line, go ahead and hit enter. Do dim selected promos as, what do we do? String? I think it's a string.
Reflected from
Yep.
I used to run every.
And that's just defining that.
Is that it?
That should work. And so now it's
I
defined.
used to run all the way.
Now, when you run it and then select, there it is, there's a three. Add one. And see if that worked in your spreadsheet.
Up that street, all the way.
1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Okay, sure. You bet. Brandon?
Can you see this spark? Oh, that's the thing you don't have. Yeah.
Is it working though? You missed like half the code.
I caught up on like some stuff down there, but
Okay, great. How's it coming?
Good, I've got all the code written, it just won't let me change the properties of the entire file. And I'm probably gonna have to restart my computer and I just don't want to right now.
What do you mean it won't let you change the
Change
properties
the
of the whole file?
properties for it to unblock the macro.
Do you need to copy and you like select this whole code and copy it?
No, it'll,
It'll save the code?
it's saving, it's just not.
Oh, it's just not running yet.
Macro, won't run the macro, so I can't check every time I hit like down.
Oh, really?
It just won't stop, so I need to restart my computer.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
wanna do that
Gotcha.
now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, good. Let's do one more. Here we go. Are you guys good back there, Justin? Will? You're good enough? Is that the? May not be good, but it's good enough. Good enough for now. That's like me. It's the story of my life. I'm not perfect, but I'm good. Wait, that almost sounds like a cop out. Anyways. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. Okay, let's do, there's an additional step here that I think is really cool. And what we're gonna have to do is the following. So if we run this, there's a discount promotion here. And notice in the spreadsheet in column I, there is a discount column. So if one of the promotions is 4, it means that there's a certain discount amount. So if we go back to the spreadsheet, you can see every time there's a 4 in column H, there's a discount percentage in column I. What I want to do is I want to create this form so that when the 4th option here, the 4th promotion, the discount promotion, when that is selected, there's another field that pops up over here. Only when that's selected and it pulls in the discount percentage. Only when that's selected. Isn't that fun? Isn't that crazy? So let's do that part. So first what we're going to do is we need to add to the form here. I'll click on the form. Here's my toolbox. Let's go ahead and add a label. And a text box. So let me grab this label, bring this down here. Let me grab a text box. I'll bring this down here. I kind of want to line up this text box with kind of the bottom of my promotions, because what I want to do is this text box will allow the person who's using this to change the discount percent, right? So if they wanted to, they could come in here and change the discount percent. So I've got a label here. I'll pull the label down. What do I want to name this label? Yeah, label discount. Perfect. LBL discount. What do I want to label the caption? Let's do discount. Why don't I pull in another label here and I'll put it next to the text box, and I will just put in the caption. I'll put in like percentage. That makes sense? That way, when people see this form, they'll be able to tell, oh, what they really want here is a percentage in that discount box. So I've got a label called discount. I'll go ahead and put that as transparent. Percentage, that's right. So the caption just has the percentage label. Make that percent. I didn't change the name. Do you want me to change the name? I'll change the name. There's the name. But you really don't have to. You really don't have to, right? Because we're not going to use it for anything. It's just going to stick there. So you don't really even need the name. For the text box, hey, just for you. For the text box, we're going to create this. We need a name here because we're going to input data into this. Let's name the text box TXT, which is that prefix, TXT discount. And we're good there. Okay, so let's do a couple of things here. Let's add the value from the spreadsheet, which we've done before for all of these, for almost all of these elements, right? We've come in here and we've said, okay, let's add the value to the spreadsheet. So I'm going to go back to my code. I'm going to go back to my show data sub, and I'm going to add for the TXT discount field dot text some data. That data is going to come from data. Sorry, my.
Yeah, I was having need amount, so that's my fault. Anyway.
Oh,
You're good.
okay. Row. What is the column that has the discount? What is it? I, column I. So we could do column I dot value. Okay, so what we've done is we've created the form. I mean, we've put the discount label, the test discount text box, and the percent label on the form. Now what we're doing is we're saying, okay, go grab this data from the spreadsheet and put it into the form in that text discount box right there. Okay. We also need to add some code that says, okay, what if somebody changes this percentage? Where do we go in the code to add that, Brantley?
What? We go to.
Click save, the click save sub. So we're going to come down here to save click, command save click. This is where we go if we're going to save stuff back to the spreadsheet. And let's just add it right here. How about right here? I have a little space for it. We're going to do what? We're going to do data.cells, row, column I, that's our discount column. The value is going to be what? It's going to be the value inside of that form object. TXT discount dot text. There's one other change I want to make here, by the way, I just remembered. If we go to the spreadsheet, these are all percentages. I kind of want to make these, sorry, these are all decimals. I want to make them percentages. So I'm just going to come to the spreadsheet real fast and do a first couple of these. In other words, instead of 0.1, I'm going to type in 10. Instead of 0.3, I'm going to type in 30. I think that's just going to display better in our form. Instead of 0.7, I'll type in 70. And we'll use those three as our guinea pigs. You could probably do that. Right. Ooh, you could just multiply it when you pull it in. Wow. That's a great idea. So right here, you could do times 100. Move it over twice. Yeah, I think that works too. Let's try it. I'm going to change mine back. I'm going to see if this works out. Okay, so I've selected row 2 and I'm going to run my, oh, it just says 0.1. Oh, because I didn't save it where we pulled it in, just where we saved it. I bet that's the problem. Yeah. Which, do we need to do that? Yeah. Or just when you bring it in. So I have it here in the save, but if I do it in the show data, this is saying pull from the spreadsheet. Parker's saying multiply by 1,000. Sorry, 100. Sorry, 100. And look at that. There's our 10%. Okay, what I wanted to do in addition to this is if I unselect discount, if I deselect discount and it's not selected, I want this to be hidden. Does that make sense? I want that to go away. Okay, so how do we do that? We're going to make one more sub. Are we good so far? Any questions on this code that we just did for the text discount? How much time we have? 8 minutes? All right, it's going to be tight. Let's do this. Oh, nice. Yeah, is your friend going to stay though? Oh, dang. All right. Good luck. May the VBA be with you.
It's already my computer advanced.
There you go. That's where we want it. Okay, so we've saved it back to the sheet. I want to create another sub here and let's see. Let's just do it here. So I'm going to come down to this sub. I'm going to do sub show discount. We're going to create another sub that says show discount, show as a Boolean. So this is going to be true or false. This is going to be our input to this sub. And if show, if that's true, so if this is true, which we don't have to actually write that in because that's going to be a Boolean, right? Show is already a Boolean, true or false. If show, then what? Then we want the label percent. Wait, what's my label? Do you guys remember what my label name is? Basically, I'm saying those 3 items in your form, you want the visibility to be true. How about that? So one of the properties of these items is visible. And I'm grabbing the element name and I'm saying dot visible equals true. I just have to make sure, what are my element names here? My label is LBL discount. My text box is TXT discount. My percentage is LBL Travis. That's what it is. How could I forget that? LBL Travis dot visible is equal true. Else, we'll do an else statement here. LBL Travis is, we don't want to make it visible, so we'll say false. LBL discount dot visible equals false. TXT discount dot visible equals false. That's what we've done. So we're going to create basically a true and false statement that says if the discount is selected, then show. If discount is not selected, then hide them. Okay, is this going to work? There's one more piece we need to add on to this. And I think we can do it. Where do we put this? Show discount. Where are we going to call this? Show discount sub. We're going to call it in our show data. And that's where we're going to put this. Does this make sense conceptually? Oui. That's Spanish for always.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're right. You're good. You're good at this.
But maybe.
So if show is true, we're gonna show these three fields. If it's false, else, we're not gonna show them. So now we're gonna come back up to show data. We're in the show data sub. Let's come right after this. Let's come right after the promotions. If LST promo dot selected 3, what does this mean? This is show data above the department options button. If selected 3, which one is selected 3? This is basically the fourth item in the array. The fourth item is discount. Will gets it. Nice. That was good. So we're saying if discount is selected, that's what this is saying right now. If discount is selected, that's the array element 3. If that's selected, if this is true, then what? Then we're going to do something. What are we going to do? Show discount true. Wait, is discount the name of the sub? Yeah, show discount. That's what I wanted. So we're saying if, this is show data sub. We're saying if it's selected, if the discount option is selected in the list box, then show discount true. Else, show discount false. Okay, now if you run this, select discount from your list, from your show discount, from your promotions list box. When you click on discount, you should see those fields pop up. If you unselect discount, they should not show up. So let's try it. Here's my discount. It's selected, 10%. Uh-oh. What just happened? It's not working. It's actually working after you save it. So if you save, there's one more part that I forgot. If you save it and go back to it, it doesn't show up. If you click on it and save it and go back, then it will show up. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, that might be a problem with Parker's approach there. Oh, that wasn't you? Who said it? Was that you? Okay, do I have 30 seconds? How do I show discount when it's actually selected? That's one where you go to another part of the code. So if I click on the code, I'll just give it to you really quick. If you want to stick around, we're going to look for the object from the left menu, list promo. And if anything changes in this list promo, there's what's called a change event. And here, what we can do is we can say, show discount if list promo, sorry, LST is the name, promo dot selected 3. And what that does is this is going to run anytime there's any change inside of that option. And once discount is not selected, it will go away. Once it's selected, it will pop up again. And we got to fix the numbers, but not bad. Good job. Way to go. We did it. Very impressive. Here's that code. Yeah. Here's the last thing we just added. So when you click on the promo here and the change here, it'll create this. And this is the last line that we created to change that instantaneously. Okay, so Monday, what are we doing Monday? Last Rats, chapter 28. Databases. Congratulations. Way to go. We'll see you then. Have a great time. Good job. I'll post this.